Republicans trying to stop people from having access to student loan forgiveness? What's the reasoning? Student loan forgiveness is scheduled to go out to about 43 million Americans. 43 million Americans who are drowning in debt, mostly because of predatory lending, and are unable to move on with their lives. The Biden administration has decided to spend a certain amount of money that has already been deemed to have no impact on inflation to try to give those Americans some relief. In fact, 90% of that relief is going to people who make under $75,000 a year. This is the federal government trying to help the American people. Quite frankly, the American people who are struggling the most. And we have Republican states suing to stop their citizens from receiving the aid. Why? Because it seems like the new Republican position is just to make life harder and worse for everyone. To throw sand in the gears of anything that could be helpful or beneficial to the people because it doesn't fit into their narrative that government doesn't work. The majority of them voted against a bill that would rebuild this country's infrastructure. They voted against making baby formula available to starving infants. They voted against capping insulin prices for diabetic Americans and against stopping gas companies from gouging us at the pumps. They voted against funding the IRS so we could go after the very richest tax cheats, and against a 15% minimum corporate tax rate for companies shirking on their taxes. They want to prove government doesn't work, so they're sabotaging it. Just like they want to prove public school doesn't work, so they're sabotaging it. And they want to prove that universal health care doesn't work, so they keep sabotaging it. For a party with no ideas, the problems are far more useful than the solutions. If people are trapped in debt, they can say, see, your life is miserable. Let us take over and we'll fix everything. But if the government helps people, if it's allowed to make people's lives better, if people can see visible positive change in the world around them, they're going to be far less likely to want to switch up who's in charge. So the Republicans are actively trying to make Americans' lives worse for their own benefit. And that should make you really mad. Here's the Democratic federal government actively trying to help people in this country. Not corporations, not the ultra-rich, not special interest or lobbying groups, but the American people. And the Republicans are suing, using random spaghetti-at-the-wall reasoning to keep people in debt. Remember, this is the same party that was perfectly fine for giving millions of dollars in PPE loans to people like Tom Brady. But $10,000 for Tom Smith, the guy who can't see his kids because he's working a second job to pay off his student loans? Totally unacceptable. What even is this party anymore? Who do they work for? Because it sure as hell ain't the American people. Stop voting for Republicans. Government can work. We just need to get rid of the people in it who don't want it to.